It's been a long journey from there to here. It's been the same for me when I grew up and started doing all of this. Obviously, I did not grow up doing this, but I've eventually come up to something like this, all right? So, once again, the questions are how, why, and what is what I ask myself, and that's the same question which everybody asks me, okay? So, here's the story of a person who gave 5 bags of gold to one person, okay? He gave 3 to another and 1 to another. So, what happened was that the person who gave the bags of gold, okay, just gave it to the other people and he left it to them for them to do whatever they want. So after a couple of months, the person with the 5 bags of gold came back with 10. Okay, he sold, he did his business, he came back with 10. The second person who had been given 3, he came back with 6. But the last person who came back with just 1 bag, okay, he didn't do anything with it. And the problem was that he said that I was really afraid of what will happen to this bag, so I kind of hid it under, you know, and I did not do anything about it. Now what happened was the person who gave the bags really congratulated the other 2 who multiplied it, but he rebuked the person who didn't do anything out of what he had, okay? Now the same thing happened kind of in my life, and the same thing kind of happens in most of our lives as well, okay? We kind of do not discover what we are given, okay? I say that what I do is actually a God-given talent, okay? Now, my talent was not just to play multiple instruments, it was to play music, okay? Now, here's a picture of me. This is my first bag of gold, perhaps. This is me with a toy keyboard. It literally is a toy, okay? I started playing this when I was in my first grade, and slowly went on to rhythm and other things. So I took spoons and forks from the kitchen, and I made my own utensil kind of a drum kit and upgraded, you know. I also started playing other instruments like the guitar, the keyboard, the flute, the violin, the saxophone. That's one of my favorite pictures because I always wanted to be a drummer, okay? Now, the reason that I started playing other instruments was because I could not get a drum kit. But that did not stop me. I really wanted to work on music. I wanted to get better at what I do. I wanted to touch all the other musical instruments. And I really wanted to be someone different. You know, I wanted to be a pastor like my dad, a cool pastor who has a bike, but also someone who can play probably all the musical instruments in the world. Now, I want to ask you a question. Do you think that's possible? When I was younger, I did not know if it is possible or not, but I kept working towards what I want, okay? So I multiplied my talents. I started playing more and more musical instruments. I started to count the musical instruments which I had in my house, and one day I figured that there were 35 of them. And that blew me away, because the rest 10 were instruments which I probably couldn't afford or keep at my house. So the number came to about 45 musical instruments, and I really wondered, what am I going to do with all of this? This is a picture of me just showing off all the musical instruments. Perhaps not all of them, but a few of them which I have at home. Okay? Now, I had a dream, right? I had a dream of playing many musical instruments as I grow older. So I was at a camp, a children's camp, where there were about 200 to 300 children, and the person in front asked all the children to draw the picture of the person that they wanted to be like. Now, I did not know what I wanted to be like, but I knew that I wanted to play many musical instruments. So if you see, there's a Yamaha keyboard, a Korg keyboard, a drum kit, and all the musical instruments that I ever knew when I was a young lad, okay? But life changed. This was during my 8th standard, okay? I went to my favorite college. I did my favorite things. I was in music. I was learning my favorite subjects in college. But life changed for me when I was in college. I became a victim to an illness which I did not call for. I became a victim to tuberculosis. So at a very young age, with all of these hopes and dreams, all of these things which I had planned for myself came crashing down when the doctors asked me if I'm a heavy smoker or a heavy drunkard. Now when we diagnosed that, he told me that I'm infected with an illness called pleural effusion. Now what happened during all this time is what changed my life. My friends who used to smoke around me did not realize that their smoke in turn affected their friend. So one day I got back home, I started vomiting. And I was wondering, this is really different. And if I had to sort of sit for half an hour, I had to lay down my back for more than 4 hours. And life was really, really tough for me. Because if I had one morsel of rice, I would vomit nearly 3 times the same. And this happened for a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, about a year. And I lost so many kilos in my body. I went from 50 to 35, not only troubling my own self, but troubling everyone around me. So the doctors, they removed about half a liter of fluids from my lungs. Now the most difficult part was not to think about my dreams, was not to go to college, but to really make a conscious effort for me to breathe. Because if I had to breathe, I had to wait for about 6 seconds. I would take one breath, get some energy, and then wait for the next 6 seconds to just get my next breath. You know, I was already playing so many musical instruments, and I had these dreams, and all of these came just crushing down. But I did not want to stay at home like the doctors said, because they discharged me saying that I will not be able to play even a simple flute. But I thought there will be something behind this, because God's love is for everybody, and I'm special. I knew it. So there was a purpose behind all of this. So in December 2015, I was praying and I was hoping that I would do something new in 2016. You know, that's when God spoke to me in a dream, and He reminded me of this very image which I had drawn at the camp, and I heard a soft voice saying, how about you take all these musical instruments and play them together? Now, I thought it was a joke because I had obviously seen Mickey Mouse. Have you seen Mickey Mouse do the same thing? Yes? That was my only reference. So I thought cartoons can do anything. How can humans actually do it? But I knew that this was my purpose in life, and I had to do this, you know. From just being a drummer or a pianist or a regular guitarist or a singer, I put all of these instruments, 13 of them together, and on February 21st of 2016, I put all of these instruments together, and I came to know that I become India's first and only one-man band who actually plays all of these instruments together. Now I know you clapped because it looks so fancy, it looks so awesome, but only I know the struggle behind all of this. Because I clearly remember I couldn't even take a single breath, but I defeated the illness. I went past it. Even today as I stand, I know that the doctors told me that I have only 40% of lungs. So if you are taking one full breath, I'm taking just about 40% of that. Yet, today I'm carrying more than 20 kilos on my back, balancing all of them together, and also putting up a show for you to enjoy. Isn't that amazing? Now what's amazing over here is that in 2016, I started playing all of these musical instruments. I went to different places and I got to meet a lot of new people, challenged myself, you know. I was like, okay, let's make this better, okay? And this is my second design, which hosts 14 musical instruments and 27 kilos. Isn't that awesome? So my point over here is that I could not only find what was gifted to me, but I multiplied it. I did not want to remain at one instrument. I did not want to remain at doing the same thing, but I wanted to multiply it. One of the main reasons that I wanted to do this was not to just be a musician. I always wanted to help people, okay? And I always wanted to make a lot of money, do a lot of shows, and help the people who are also affected like me. They get affected with illnesses or circumstances which they do not call for. But you put all your love, all your effort, all of yourself into what you do, into your passion, and you become this amazing, different kind of a person. And I feel like a transformer, okay? So that is the coolest part of this all, okay? Now there is something to this, okay? During this entire process, I knew that God was loving me even at my worst. He was loving me at my best and at my worst. And that is when there's a song which says, "Koi nahi kar sakega tere pyar se mujhko alag." It's a love song to God, okay? I'm going to be just singing it for you, and I hope you guys enjoy it. कोई नहीं कर सकेगा तेरे प्यार से मुझको अलग, कोई नहीं दे सकेगा ऐसा प्यार तेरे बिना, कोई नहीं तेरे बिना, कोई नहीं तेरे बिना। कोई नहीं कर सकेगा तेरे प्यार से मुझको अलग, कोई नहीं दे सकेगा ऐसा प्यार तेरे बिना, कोई नहीं तेरे बिना, कोई नहीं तेरे बिना। ना जीवन ना मृत्यु ना स्वर्ग दूत ना शैतान, ना जीवन ना मृत्यु ना स्वर्ग दूत ना शैतान, ना वर्तमान ना भविष्य, ना ऊंचाई ना गहराई, ना वर्तमान ना भविष्य, ना ऊंचाई ना गहराई, कोई नहीं तेरे बिना। बिना कोई नहीं, कोई नहीं तेरे बिना, कोई नहीं, कोई नहीं तेरे बिना. Thank you. So I built this kit which weighed 27 kilos and I wanted to make it better and lighter. And that is where I have this kit which does not host 14 musical instruments but is way better than that, and I get to travel more than I can. Now the thing is, I do not want to just share my story and just play music. So that is where this is my baby venture called Uke Experience, okay? Now we function out of Mumbai and we want to share the love and the joy through music to everybody, okay? So this is where we reach out and we teach everybody the ukulele. The most important and the best part of this picture is that 80% of them have never played any musical instrument before, but in the span of 2 hours, we could teach them how to play the musical instrument. And they can play about 4 songs, and they go home, and they also share the love with others. Isn't that amazing? So yes, it is not just about all the music. It's not just about all the music, all the talk, okay? We go through ups and downs. And when I was going through my up and down, I wrote this one song saying, it's cool. Now this is a song where I want you to join in with me. Okay? Are you guys with me? Yes. Okay. Now say with me, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. We live life anyway. It's true. Yesterday, no, you don't have to say that. Yesterday, you might face some problem. Today, you might face some problem, but it's cool. We live life anyway, okay? Now, I want you to sing it with me. It goes like this. It's cool, 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 and it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, and it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. We live life anyway. Come on, we live life. Clap your hands. Yesterday, it didn't feel like it made my day. I spilled the coffee over on my pen, so I went to the bay. Yesterday, it didn't feel like it made my day. I spilled the coffee over on my pen, so I went to the bay. You sing it with me. It's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, and it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, and it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. We live life anyway, and it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, and it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, and it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. We live life anyway. Now the second stanza is something which happened in my life, and I'm pretty sure that it would have happened in your life too, because I used to look like a really young lad even though I rode a bike. Anyone like that? Yeah. Okay, so this happened in Mumbai. I was on my way to Marine Drive I wrote this song there. Okay, this part is written over there. And I'm cycling to the bay. I met a cop on the way. He stopped me by the side of the road and asked, "तुझं नाव काय रे?" And I'm cycling to the bay. I met a cop on the way. He stopped me by the side of the road and asked, "तुझं नाव काय रे?" And it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, and it's cool. It's cool, it's cool, it's cool, and it's cool. It's cool, it's cool, it's cool. Come on, we live life louder. And it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, and it's cool. It's cool, it's cool, it's cool, and it's cool. It's cool, it's cool, it's cool. We live life anyway. Thank you.